Right, we want to now introduce our panelists who are here this morning to discuss that and a raft of other issues as well. The development that we still have in the Supreme Court as far as the presidential dispute is concerned, and a raft of other issues as far as the counties are concerned as well. Allow me to introduce to you Senator Kimani Wamatangi, who is the senator for Kiambu. Also, we do have with us lawyer Miguna Miguna. Also, we have senator from Meru County. This is Mithika Linturi, and member of parliament from Kibra. This is Ken Okoth. Good morning, gentlemen. All right, let's begin with Wamatangi. First of all, that particular story, I know, of Turkana County interests you in a way, because also you're running for the deputy speaker of a senator as well. So how is it so far for you? I think things are looking up roses for you. I don't know.
Well, as it were, Debarl, let me first say good morning to our viewers.
Good morning.
Because it's been a while since the elections. We were here once. It's good to say to our viewers we are glad they keep watching this show. Every time when I go out, Debarl, including during the elections, you get surprised at how keen Kenyans are and how they have appreciated this show every morning. There are many people who tell me, actually, I get late to go to work to fast watch because I believe this show has become a very informative forum for Kenyans to be able to pick on current issues, and especially on politics of the day and other matters that affect the country. Now, on that question that you asked after the story that's run on the Turkana members of parliament, you see, all these positions are now open, all of them, from both speakers, majority leaders, the deputy majority leaders, the whips and their deputies, deputy speaker, they're all open now. Mm-hmm. And most of those positions are normally decided after the parliamentary group meeting, which we are yet to do as Jubilee. We'll be doing our PG, hopefully, probably by Wednesday. I hope so, and or I believe so. And then after that, people get together and agree. But in the meantime, prior to that, because all members of parliament, both in the National Assembly and in the Senate, qualify for any of those positions, then what happens is we all get to engage in lobbying and campaigning for those particular positions. And it is everyone's right to do that. And so I believe the quest by members of the Turkana community to express what they think is their opinion in as far as the positions are concerned, they're pretty much within their rights. But once we get to sit as a parliamentary group meeting, then we'll agree on how to position each other. Largely, part of what they're saying is correct, that some of the considerations are usually regional balance, because we are a house representing the entire nation. So at least positions are divided fairly equitably amongst regions and communities. And because the Speaker of the Senate then held that position as a member of the Turkana community and as a member of the pastoralist community, so definitely that's their right to be able to agitate and make a case for their candidates. As it's been in the press all over, I've not had a formal discussion with any of the other candidates, but it's been in the press, and it's an open secret that quite a number of other interests. Mm-hmm. I'm one such candidate. As I've said, I'm running for the office of Deputy Speaker. This position was held previously by the senator for Murang'a, that is Kibra, who happens to come from the central region of Kenya. That position then was offered to the people of central Kenya, represented by Kiambu Senator, and he did a good job at it. From all the members of central Kenya, members of the Senate, I'm the only one who got re-elected. As I've said earlier in other forums, I'm one of the legislators in the Senate who managed to work on some of the most robust bills that affect devolution.
Thank you.
And I've got a track record, so I believe I'm also putting my case correctly.
All right, Miguna Miguna, that particular position of, I don't know how it really works with the position of a speaker, because you don't necessarily have to be drawn from the Senate from the Senate, from the sitting of the Senate that we do? How do
to be a speaker?
Yeah,
yes.
To be a speaker.
Yeah, you don't have to.
Ethuru was not elected.
Well, he was not elected.
He was not an elected senator or anything. So the speakers, I could be a speaker.
You could
Anybody
be a speaker.
could be a speaker. But my comment is premised on the fact that I'm more focused on Kenya, the nation Kenya.
Yes.
And good governance and the principle of inclusivity. And it is unfortunate that when I watch the press conference, the lobbying is done provincially, in a parochial way. We, the Turkana people, we deserve this position. This is not about Kenya, this is about Turkana. And that's unfortunate for me. And then secondly, because somebody should be lobbying on the basis that he or she is the best candidate for Kenya and should be able to present what they are going to do for Kenyans as a nation and as a people. Secondly, it is also unfortunate that the press conference addressed the president as if this is a monarch who whimsically is going to appoint even people that should be elected by constitutional institutions such as parliament. So even though the president happens to be the titular head of Jubilee, because he's the president, he's not the chairman of Jubilee, for instance, and ought not be able to dictate to members of parliament whom they should elect as speaker. Yes, you would have some say. Yes, naturally, you would have a huge influence, but it shouldn't be that people are pleading with the president to give them speakership. Then I would comment on my friend Honorable Wamatangi's statement that the position of Deputy Speaker of the Senate was reserved for people from Central Kenya. So what is this thing about reserved for Central Kenya? Positions, public positions, state positions cannot be reserved, ought not be reserved for anybody other than the fact that they are Kenyans, they are qualified, they are competent, they have integrity, they would contribute to the national good. So I would have a problem with my friend campaigning on the basis that he's from Central Kenya. Then I have to remind him that he's from the same county as the president. I think it would look bad optically that he's trying to lobby for this position when he also has produced a president. The government of Kenya must have the face of Kenya, and we must continue to emphasize this. So I will ask him, yes, I know his contributions, and I've been one of the people who have appreciated his contributions, particularly legislation going towards dealing with corruption in the counties. So yes, he should peg his campaign on his contributions, not on the fact of biology or genetics as he's trying to do.
Maybe just a quick one to correct that impression. It's a very wrong impression created by Miguna. Of course, it falls below the power of understanding, of basic expression. I did not say that the position is reserved for Central Kenya. I said in the last arrangement, and Debarl, it's also important to remind Miguna that it is a constitutional requirement in actually appointments and other such allocations. The Constitution speaks about regional balance, about when appointments are made. I'm not saying that these appointments are made largely, from the executive, but even for what he's calling the face of Kenya.
It's an election.
Let me finish. What he's calling the face of Kenya, that is the consideration. When you're looking across the board in a whole parliament, you cannot say that you just say that everybody here has got a degree in economics, so give everybody a degree, give everybody a position because they have a degree. You consider what we call, especially, what he said, regional balance. But as he said also that my country has produced a president, and then he also started by, and sorry, you contradicted yourself, because he started by saying that indeed these positions are not necessarily elected or offered by the presidency. But I talked about having a parliamentary group meeting. And remember, Debarl, when we go to parliament, we go there via political parties. I am a member of the Jubilee family. So when we sit, just like the other groups do sit in NASA, when we sit, we make considerations as a family, and we say, how are we going to place our people in parliament? Then that is where people get to decide that let that position go to this region, to that region, to this person, he's competent, to that. There are several, there's a raft of considerations, and that is how that is decided upon. So thank you for recognizing my ability. But I also want to let you understand that when I offer myself, I think you're hogging when I offer myself
just a moment,
for that particular, when I offer myself for that position, Miguna, I offer myself for that position for what I am able and have been able to accomplish in the Senate.
Right, thank you.
Not necessarily because...
Right, thank you. Let's hear from Okoth. Thank you.
Absolutely. You
know,
right,
thank you.
There are so many
thank you, Wamatangi.
in the Senate
thank you,
represented there. And you know, Debarl, just to inform him, there are more than 15 positions
that
are being...
All right, let's leave it at that. Let's hear from Ken Okoth. Ken.
I'm happy to let Senator Linturi to speak first on this. This is a Senate affair and a Jubilee affair.
No, I think it's only fair to really respect seniority. And for that matter, I really respect and thank Okoth for giving me the
respect to seniority.
Yeah, when you look at this table, I'm the senior most member of parliament. So
I should pick the youngest last?
No, not necessarily, but I'm saying I am really humbled by the gesture.
He's also the newest in the Senate.
Yeah. So, let me say I'm really disillusioned by the comments coming from the members of parliament from Turkana. And I'm left wondering whether, and with all due respect and humility, wonder whether they really or actually understand their job, or exactly know what is required of them for Eduro to be elected as the speaker. Debarl, you know, first I would want to really advise the Turkana people to really respect this principle of the separation of power and principle, and because when you bring in the issue of the president in the management of affairs of parliament, in my view, you are trying to get into a ground where you compromise standards, where you compromise business of the assembly, because the speaker is supposed to oversee the running of business without interference from outside. I am Jubilee and I respect that I've undertaken to ensure that government business is conducted in a way that we facilitate the executive to deliver its mandate, but I would also be very reluctant to get into a situation where Parliament will be receiving directions from the executive. I am saying this because Uhuru Kenyatta will not dictate who will be elected Speaker of the National Assembly or the Senate. And for that matter, because these are members of Parliament, and that's why I'm sympathizing with them and saying they may not know exactly who they should be addressing, by their deeds is trying to mason democracy. Mason democracy in the sense that they should not be inviting Uhuru Kenyatta to come and make a declaration and say, I want Eduro elected as Speaker of the Senate. These fellows should have come to me, to Matangi, or any other senator, and sat them down and told them, look here, my brothers and sisters, because you people see how Turkana is, and you must appreciate Eduro might have done something nice at the Senate. Kindly consider supporting Eduro for the Senate Speaker. That to me would have been more civilized. But the business of going to media and telling Uhuru or anybody else to elect, Uhuru has no power to cast that vote. And that is how, when you suffer, when people, you know, that's a reflection of also the Turkana people. And because they also suffer, these people suffer the disadvantage of electing the people who may not actually understand their job description. I now personally feel that it is only important for the leadership in Turkana to talk to Wamatangi, to talk to any other senator, and convince us why we must vote for Eduro as the Senate Speaker, but not to ask the President to tell us who to vote as Speaker. A lot of respect for democracy, and I will vote on the basis of ability of anybody to run the affairs of the Senate, and not on the basis of where one comes from.
All right, thank you.
I will not.
All right, thank you. Let's hear from Ken. Good morning.
Thank you, Debarl. I would say I'm curious to hear whether Senator-elect Linturi will be running for any of these positions. As has been mentioned, there's 15 leadership positions within the Senate, and him being a senior and experienced legislator and also as a politician outside the legislature should be putting him, that's in my humble opinion, should be not denying the country a chance to see his leadership on that national level and high platform. So I hope maybe he'll tell us whether he's running or not. But while we're talking about
no, you can tell us now. Before
yes,
are you considering?
Yeah.
The studious silence.
You know, the Bible says, humble yourself, for thou shalt be exalted. So accept for now that I'm looking at the options that are available at the Senate. And very soon I'll be saying what I'll be going for. But I'm looking at the waters. You know, I'm not a politician that just makes statements without really looking through those statements. So just running for a position and end up losing the way I advised Mboni Aloale here. You remember I was a colleague and I told Mboni, my friend, don't get to
You're the one who misled Mboni Aloale. So,
and I'm really missing Mboni. So I am watching this space, but definitely I'll be going for something. So let's wait and see.
Okay. Can continue.
While we're speaking about it, and I was hoping Miguna Miguna would also run for Speaker of like National Assembly or Senate, because you don't have to be already elected.
Yes.
You just have to have the qualifications, and I think he has the qualifications and commitment to governance. But we also have all these county assemblies that need serious people with experience. So I don't know why Miguna is quiet about offering himself up to serve. And there's 47 county assemblies, there's a National Assembly, there's a Senate. We need leaders.
Miguna?
Ken is being mischievous. I think you should focus on the discussion that brought us here. And,
but that's part of the discussion.
No.
You have a colleague.
I would not comment on Ken's mischief.
All right, you finish.
Governor, county government has got a county assembly.
Ken is mischievous.
Why is he offering himself up? He didn't get the seat he asked for.
Okay, fine. Continue. Okay. No, continue with the point.
So let me tell you on the speakership, since my two colleagues that I respect and support here won't go out and put their hats in the ring seriously, I would say the question of independence of institutions matters. If you see people saying we have a Senate and we have a National Assembly, but we the members won't decide, we will wait for a principal position somewhere else in the executive to tell us which way to vote or to give us who the selected person is. It really reeks of a monarchy and a system whereby you have abrogated the powers of your institution and its independence to do its job. You understand what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. We've just seen a fantastic thing going on at the Supreme Court, the head of the judiciary and his 6 colleagues sitting there listening to the cases and making decisions. You know, we know on what basis, hopefully, they'll make those decisions. Now, when you come to the parliament, you need a speaker who's elected by members of parliament, who owes their allegiance to the vibrancy of that institution and to the service of that institution in our constitutional order. You don't want a speaker who's been appointed as an appendage or an apparatchik of somebody else outside there, then you really debase the institution, because the speakership brings a lot of control to that institution. A Senate speaker, really the Senate is concerned with affairs of county governments and promotion and protection of devolution. If you get a speaker appointed there, not by the senators and by their commitment to the purpose of the Senate, they might be there for other political considerations and interests and forget about the protection and promotion of devolution and the affairs of county government, the advocacy for the welfare of county government. That's really dangerous. Same to the National Assembly. I think Jubilee, as a tyranny of numbers, any person who's Jubilee allied should stand up and compete for the seat and let the members in the House elect the person. I know you have to be realistic. So the second thing I would say here is the issue of regionalism, since it has come. And Senator Wamatangi, however you slice it and dice it, has put it on the table, and it's a reality that there's regionalism. I would say if you're thinking about a regional representation, then if it's a Jubilee government and set of institutions, you must ask yourself, if the president is from central Kenya, Kiambu County specifically, the deputy president is from the Rift Valley, it's already taken. Tell us then in that the rest of the national lineup, where are we going to see a leader from Western Province? Where is the leadership from Eastern Province? From Northeastern, I think we're going to get Honorable Duale again as majority leader. Who is the face of Nyanza in that lineup? Nyanza Province and Nairobi. But regionalism issues aside, if you're going to use that formula, we must scrutinize it carefully and say, where is that face? But number two is really, if you want to show the face of Kenya, which is asked for in the Constitution, you must show the gender. We heard, for instance, the president and the deputy, 2 males. There's no female deputy president. So who's the highest ranking woman in Kenyan government? That's a question we must ask ourselves. Is it just the deputy chief justice? When you come to the national government at the executive level, where is the face of women leadership, and what will it be in the cabinet? Will this time we see a commitment to the 2/3 gender rule in the cabinet, in the appointment of PSs, in the appointment of ambassadors and the boards and chairs of state corporations? Will we see it in the National Assembly, in the leader and the Senate, in the leadership of committees? Why can't we say, if we're actually going to reserve, I would say reserve the deputy speakership for both houses to a woman. If you can't get a woman to be the speaker, and I would say, even, why don't the women of this country step up? You remember Martha Karua, when the campaigns were very hot in Kirinyaga. The president went to campaign there and said, these are both my people. Whoever you choose, the other one will set them up. I would love to see Martha Karua as a speaker of the Senate or the National Assembly, and then you can reserve the deputy speakership for a man. Okay. So I think really we need to look at that. But there's also the face of the youth. Where is the youthful leadership in this country, and how we bring up the next generation? Because those are also constitutional requirements. And then people with disabilities. Right. And let me say something positive, even as I point out where the shortcomings are. Something positive that I'm really excited from this election is in Kajiado County. There's a lady called Janet Teya. Honorable Janet Teya was nominated, not by my party, but by Jubilee, last parliament. And she has had polio since she was very young. She walks with crutches and was nominated as a representative of people with disability to the National Assembly last time. This time she ran for the women rep of Kajiado County and she won. So I think affirmative action works. When we commit to a constitution, it works. And I'm proud of her, and I'm proud of her party for giving her the support and the platform to make it. So when we talk about leadership, speakerships, let's ask those tough questions. But
when you talk about also the regional balance, Wamatangi, before we come to you, the regional balance that also is enshrined in the Constitution, there seem to be a sort of ambiguity in the way the structure should be, because they say they shall be regional balance, baseline, nothing else.
Well, yeah, Debarl, allow me to comment on that. But as I comment on that, I wanted to just finalize on a small point that was made. And I agree, you know, to a certain extent, only to the extent that, yes, indeed, in the election of a speaker and deputy speaker, that is normally the prerogative of members of parliament. Because you vote, like the way you go to actual voting in the general election, you cast a ballot by secret ballot, and it's upon counting amongst the various contestants that you have a winner. That's the process. But I wanted to comment on the wrong impression that may be created that party politics do not find its way in the practice of parliamentary democracy. That's not right. Because, you see, in the standing orders, which are the rules that guide how Parliament conducts its business itself, it is awash and loud with party politics. For example, even the appointment of various positions like the majority leader himself, the definition of who the majority leader is precisely about party politics. It says that the majority leader shall be the leader of the party or coalition of parties with majority of members. When it speaks about the minority leader, it refers specifically to a leader of the political party or coalition of political parties represented as a minority. Now, if you look at even the formation of committees themselves, the standing orders of Parliament are very specific. Actually, in certain committees, for example, like in the in the Public Accounts Committee, where I am a member, it is specific that the chairman of that committee must come from the opposition side. Even in the constitution of the parties themselves, it is also clear. It says that the number of members in this particular committee or in these committees, the majority, if for example it is 11 members, majority of them will come from the parties representing the majority. I mean, so in most of these things, such that you find in the committees when we are getting to appoint members or nominate them, they'll be saying from the opposition you have 5. That is from NASA. From Jubilee you have 6. That is how loud it is. So even when you are getting now to determine then who goes to which committee, what I was trying to debunk is this thing that may be created wrongly, that when members of Parliament find their way into Parliament via the political parties, that there is no voice. There is no time when the political parties will sit, including, remember, for example, when you get to elect the president, he is elected by Jubilee, or via Jubilee on a Jubilee ticket. He belongs to Jubilee Party. So at the end of the day, there will still be a voice when it comes to, when you're having a parliamentary group meeting, for example, does it exclude the president when you're making those determinations?
Thank you. We'll circle back with Miguna Miguna. We're going to take a short break right now. And we see, yes, from the Constitution as it is enshrined there with the regional balance, is there sort of an ambiguity, or there should be a proper structure on how also these positions should be actually doled out? Yes, we promised our viewers that we'll circle back with you to comment on the regional balance as enshrined in the Constitution. Yes. Clarity there, you see there is ambiguity, or there has to be a proper structure from there?
Debarl, number one, I would like to say that Senator Wamatangi was right, and I don't think there was anybody who said that parties don't play a role.
Yes.
Political parties do play a role. They have a central role that they play in the management of national affairs, and they do in Kenya. So nobody has quibbled with that. What I have a problem with is saying that once a president has been elected, so President Uhuru Kenyatta is a member and leader of Jubilee, he then becomes the president of the Republic of Kenya. He's not the president of Jubilee.
Absolutely.
So, right. No, so when you say he's elected by Jubilee or whatever, and I think that was a misstatement. No, please. Let me just comment.
Okay, let him finish. Let him finish so that you can actually get...
So, a PG, a parliamentary group meeting for a political party.
No,
all right, okay, just give him time.
The president of the Republic of Kenya is not a member of a PG. He is the president of the Republic of Kenya and the commander-in-chief of the defense forces.
Yes, well, he's
the president of everyone, including those who did not vote for him.
Absolutely, that's
so
right.
Therefore, can I comment?
Yes.
Yes, and please stop heckling.
No, I'm not heckling.
So,
correcting you, my friend.
What I want to say is this, that the president then, even in his position as the titular head of Jubilee, would then have to dispense his power and authority, including those that would influence or affect elections in Parliament in a judicious manner, in a manner that reflects the face of Kenya. Yes, there is no constitutional directive or there is no constitutional provision that defines what regional balance is. But I think we all understand what it is. We are a country made of 42 plus communities, and these people reside and they domicile in all areas of Kenya. The expectation, the constitutional expectation, and requirement is that appointments and hopefully elections such as the ones that are pending in Parliament would reflect the diversity of Kenya. And I agree with the Honorable Okoth that would include gender, that would include youth, that would include disability. So therefore, it is then incumbent on leaders like Senator Wamatangi, and I must come to him, because when you do have a president and you come from the same county, it is mandatory that you become conscious of what other areas and citizens of Kenya are feeling and thinking. If you go there and say that I'm qualified, I also need to occupy this space,
to hog
when
space.
that space can also be occupied by other qualified Kenyans, then I would have to question your sensibilities and sensitivities to how other Kenyans feel.
All right.
So, for instance, in central
so
Kenya,
does it necessarily
in central
mean...
Kenya,
Yes, let him finish. Just let him finish.
Gitura was from Murang'a. Why then wouldn't you say that it should now be
Senator
Kirinyaga or Nyeri or Laikipia if it was to be reserved for central Kenya? And I don't
Meru.
believe it should be. How about, yes.
No,
So what I'm saying is
the question is then, Miguna.
My point is this. If you look at Tanzania, for example, the way they have been electing their president and their leaders, you can see an unwritten rule, almost like a rotational thing, that moves from one community to another. There is no one community that hogs public office in any capacity. And so what I'm saying is that it is an unwritten rule that people like us who believe in good governance, and I would believe my friend is like me, must be sensitive as to what we are doing to have that face of Kenya reflected. And that has to be in all positions.
All right, Mithika, let's hear from... So does it mean then, if my preceding or the preceding speaker has been from one regional, from a region of this Kenya, and maybe also you have ambition to become, you know, the speaker or the deputy speaker, for that matter, of that particular seat in the Senate, and you come from the same region, then automatically your burden of conscience should not really allow you, because of the regional balance, to run for that seat. So should I shelve my ambition?
Not necessarily, but I would rather propose a situation whereby these positions are taken up by people that first have the abilities to run those institutions. Number two, because there wouldn't be very many people with those abilities, then we must also look at the gap that is created in the structure of leadership in terms of trying to balance communities or regions in this country. Because I believe when we settle this problem of an area or community feeling left out in political power arrangements, that is one way we will be healing this country. So for that matter, although there is no definition as Miguna is saying, we would apply our minds properly to see how we can be able to manage or to bring in the definition of regional balance to accommodate everyone in the house or anybody outside that parliament to see that yes, there is a minority there, there is a major tribe there, that kind of thing. To me, that is I would really rather see. I would sacrifice my ambition personally if, for example, my position, the position of the position I would want, probably by taking it would create animosity or create a situation whereby other people in this country will be feeling uncomfortable. Then I would be willing to sacrifice for other people. Because personally, I believe in give and take. It cannot be me, and me alone. We must really give room for others. And I believe if we can have such guided democracy, we will be able to feel, we will be able to absorb each one of us, and everyone else will be feeling quite comfortable.
Thank you. Ken Okoth.
I think just a last comment on this, for me, is again, the nominations of youth, people with disabilities, minorities, gender, making sure you really represent the face of Kenya. And, you know, I understand where Senator Wamatangi is coming from, insisting he has a right to vie, but the sensibilities that are being called upon to him. Let me give you an example. I know I'm younger than you, but you can copy from me. In my own party, ODM, yes, the party leader is a registered voter in Kibra, and he comes from Kibra, and he was our presidential candidate. Sure. Having known that, I have never been able to vie for any other seat within ODM. Even now, we are going to the National Assembly. And as long as the party leader is from my constituents, I have to put aside my ambition and say, let us accommodate somebody else. You know, we have to figure out who will we float for deputy speakership, who will we put for minority leadership, you know, how can we get somebody from Eastern province, the strongholds of Wiper, to be in the leadership phase. Someone from Western Kenya, where we've got ANC and Ford Kenya and ODM, from the coastal region. But I think even within central Kenya, how do we get people from different backgrounds? You remember in the last parliament, our party had nominated, and now he's been nominated for Senate, Honorable Isaac Mwaura. So I think really this idea of let us step back sometimes if already you come from a place and you are the senator for the president of the Republic of Kenya, who comes from your county. Hold it back a little bit, reduce your ambition from a capital A ambition to a small a ambition, because you're already representing and speaking for the president in that Senate. And the great people of Kiambu allow somebody from Turkana or even from Nyanza. I am wondering who will be the face now that Onyango Olo is not with you anymore, and he was the token face of Luo Nyanza within your circles.
We've got Raphael Tuju.
Well, I hope then put Raphael Tuju. Why? Raphael Tuju has the experience and the capacity and skill set to be the head of the Senate, even the Speaker of the National Assembly. I haven't heard his name. You already have a position. Why not put Raphael Tuju there? You know, you've seen Beth Mugo, the senator. She has been MP in Nairobi 2 times. She's been a nominated senator. She's again being nominated. You know, why can't you nominate somebody else? These are the things, and I'll tell you, for instance, I come from Kibra constituency when I talk about minorities. The Nubians of Kenya are a minority, a small tribe. If it comes to numbers, they'll never make it. But they are as Kenyan as everybody else. My party has nominated, even just for MCA, we have nominated members of the Nubian community. Jubilee, the biggest party in Kenya, is pretending they don't know Nubians exist. Not even one Nubian on your list. These are the things that I'm saying to your national television.
How many are on NASA's list?
3. And 3. And in the last, we got 2 nominated and 1 elected.
How many minorities are in Kenyan communities?
You know, I'm just telling you, and I am the representative.
Have you looked at the Jubilee's nomination list? Because,
yes, I have looked at the Jubilee nomination list, and there is no Nubian. It's a question of fact.
One person at a time, please.
I can tell you this for a fact. I am the member of parliament.
Thank you.
You are the senator for the president.
Right, thank you.
A powerful party.
No, we're winding up on this.
That your list of Jubilee doesn't even have 1 Nubian nominated for the Nairobi County Assembly. The smallest seat you can do.
We need to drill deeper to other issues as well, Wamatangi, please. No, we need to drill.
Can I make some?
Please, let's just move on. Because we said we're winding up on this and when we circle back.
Just 2 minutes, Debarl. Let me make clarity on one of the issues here that's raised by Ken. One, you see, this impression, and it is good that when you make comments from inside so that you have information. As I said, and I don't want to seem like I'm belaboring a small point, Debarl, in the Senate, the number of members of the Senate who sit in the Senate are 47 elected. And after the nominations, we are 67. The positions that right now people will be sitting to look for, there are 22 committees where people can become chairman. There are more than 20 positions and 3 commissioners. Now, if you told somebody that in a house of 67 and there are more than 55 positions that you cannot vie for a deputy because you know, Nani is a law. So and secondly, you know, you started very well. He started very well. These positions are about ability and capability of an individual. Ken and this gentleman here who ran for Nairobi governor knows that the most robust senator who has passed some of the most good laws for this country is Wamatangi.
Thank you.
So
all right, let's leave it at that.
Listen to us too.
So my
okay,
friend,
thank you. Wamatangi, we need to...
So my friend, stop this business about saying that...
will you tell your president?
But you know, that point of nomination of Nubians, my friend, you need to look at the Jubilee nomination list. Do you know the people nominated in Jubilee into the Senate right now, 3/4 are from minorities.
All right, thank you. All right, thank you. Wamatangi, can all right, thank you.
He spoke about Eden Duale being the majority leader of the National Assembly.
Thank you.
From a minority.
We shall have another forum.
Minority.
Thank you.
Okay,
Senator Wamatangi.
If there is one party that has been completely
Senator Wamatangi, please, let's move on. Thank you.
It is Jubilee.
Put even one.